Has anyone noticed that Roblox is just one of those games that, no matter where you go, you can't seem to ignore nowadays?
Roblox.
Roblox, this is crazy.
There are a few exceptions to this though. Millions of people use the platform every day, but there seems to be an absence of players in a certain East Asian country that contains approximately 1.4 billion people. If you haven't guessed it already, I'm talking about China. If you didn't know, China is very strict about their internet censorship. Their government doesn't want citizens to see anything that may paint the country in a bad light, so they've banned nearly all Western video games. And whatever they haven't banned, they've certainly tweaked to their liking. One of the banned games was, of course, Roblox. However, on the 13th of July, 2021, Roblox's Chinese version was released, named Luobu, which is just a Chinese translation of Roblox. If you're curious on how Luobu came to be and the eventual demise of the game, go check out my last video. This video, however, is going to be about the game itself, the experience of playing it. Now, you can't actually play Luobu anymore, as it got shut down, because Roblox likely felt that complying with China's laws surrounding video games was just not worth the minuscule player base that Luobu actually had, even at its peak. Because I can't actually play Luobu itself, I'll have to rely on the accounts of people who have. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Miscellaneous.
Like I mentioned in the introduction, you can't actually play Luobu anymore, and this comes with the inability to make an account, obviously. However, what I can do is search the process up on YouTube, and I'll get a few results. I think Night Sky Diamond's video is the best here, because you can clearly see all the steps necessary to make an account. Even better, he's Taiwanese, which makes it a whole lot easier to actually get into Luobu. First, you'll go to the Luobu website, which is roblox.qq.com, because it's affiliated with Chinese social media platform called QQ, which is owned by Tencent. If you haven't watched my last video, Tencent is a Chinese mega corporation which is in control of almost everything internet and technology related in the country. This detail will be important later. To download it on your phone, like Night Sky Diamond is shown doing here, you would have scanned a QR code. Once you have the app downloaded, you need to sign in or create a new account. You couldn't do this with a simple username or password. No, you had to sign in with either QQ, the Chinese social media platform I mentioned earlier, or another Chinese social media platform, WeChat, which is best described as an everything app. Many people in China have WeChat on their phones, and it's also owned by Tencent. Tencent actually worked alongside Roblox to create Luobu, so that's why Tencent is so prevalent around Luobu. Nice Guy Diamond signs with QQ, and once he has that done, he got into Luobu. I found another video titled Logging into a Luobu Account in Normal Roblox by Evan, or however you pronounce this guy's name. When he tries to log in, he's met with an error message saying, "This account is unable to log in. Please log into the Luobu app." After this, a sane person would just give up. But this absolute mad lad decides to modify some of the data on the website to grant himself access to the account, using a method that I may talk about in a future video. Evan succeeds, accomplishing his goal of logging into a Luobu account on normal Roblox. So, when playing Luobu, what can you expect? Well, most of the games that were ported over remain largely unchanged. However, there are some differences. Most things are now written in Chinese, obviously, but there are some other changes that have to do with the censorship that I talked about previously. I'll just play a clip from my last video to explain exactly what I mean. When Luobu first released, Roblox allowed some developers to release their game in the Chinese version of their platform. However, for these games to be ported over, developers had to follow very strict requirements, such as the following. Loot boxes could not be implemented in any games to comply with Chinese law, no blood or intense fighting, no religious content, no content regarding Chinese history, gee, I sure do wonder why, no foreign social media, no political content, and the one that I consider to be the strangest out of all of these rules, no horror or scary content. Additionally, if you fell from a certain height, you would automatically equip a parachute, which slowed down your descent. With this came a message that would appear on the top of your screen, saying something along the lines of, "Do not imitate dangerous actions. Without any auxiliary equipment, jumping from a high place will result in falling injury or death." Now, let's say we were playing a game in Luobu where you could die, like natural disaster survival. Unlike Roblox, where your body will basically just fall apart, on Luobu you kind of just fade out of existence. This change was no doubt made to make Luobu less violent, but I'll let you be the judge as to if this was even necessary. Did you know that Luobu actually has a presence on Chinese social media? I did touch on this in my last video, but something I didn't mention, however, is Luobu's QQ group. their WeChat group is left abandoned, and when you try and message them, you'll be met with some automated bot message redirecting you to their QQ group. However, even when you try to get into the QQ group, it'll say it's full, and let's just say, it'll take a while for someone to even consider freeing up space for you in the group, considering how many people want to have first dibs on Luobu if it returns. While we're on the subject of Luobu's return, I think it'd be a great time to talk about the whitelist program. Despite having been shut down over 3 years ago, there still may be a chance it comes back in the future. In my last video, I doubted that it would ever return, but honestly, if all the issues with Luobu are fixed, and the Chinese government loosens its grip on video game censorship, then there's actually a very good chance that Luobu comes back. In that case, there's actually a Luobu whitelist program that exists, but if you live outside of China, good luck getting in. First, you're going to need a Chinese mainland phone number, or one that starts with +86. The next thing you're going to need is a QQ or WeChat account. However, if you have both those things, you still can't play, because remember, you're only able to sign up to the whitelist program right now. But if by some chance Luobu does end up coming back, you could be one of the first to revisit this platform. Luobu certainly is an interesting platform, because it's so similar and yet alien to normal Roblox. In my last video, I referenced something that Roblox said a while ago, claiming that Luobu could come back this year, so really, who knows? You might be able to play Luobu again by 2026, if everything goes just right. As always, I've provided a list of the music that I've used and all my sources in the description. And if you enjoyed, please do consider leaving a like or even subscribing. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and have yourself a great day.